Well, ladies and gentlemen, you join us here live on the Saturday of the Henley Women's Regatta. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning. Racing is due to get underway in just a couple of minutes' time. It's another picture-perfect day here in the seat of the Oxfordshire countryside. We've got a full programme of racing coming up, starting with the aspirational lightweight singles due to get off in around 2 minutes' time. My name's Tom Morgan. I'll be guiding you through the next 90 minutes or so of racing before I'm taken over by Martin Unsworth, but really looking forward to this afternoon and this morning's racing even. First race on the course will be Leicester University on the Berkshire Station. Alice Bloomer up against Lucy Harris of Cambridge University Women on the Buckinghamshire Station. So a really, really exciting clash to kick off this morning's racing.
Did they give you a roll?
So racing underway here. Alice Bloomer and Lucy Harris making their way down past Temple Island. I am delighted to be joined by Joe Brown, former Oxford University lightweight. Joe, I believe it's Lucy's birthday today.
It is Lucy's birthday today as well, so happy birthday, Lucy. I'm sure she's hoping to have the best birthday present, which is getting through to the next round today.
Absolutely, and you can just see the two crews making their way past Temple Island. Got 4 heats of the aspirational lightweight singles to come before we move on to championship lightweight singles. But at the moment, looks like a pretty well-matched contest. I'd say Alice Bloomer of Leicester University, just there on the right-hand side of your picture, perhaps has had the better of the 2 starts.
Yeah, no, absolutely. She's looking... Both scullers actually looking very relaxed, though. So it's good to see, like you said, a very tight contest. Always is with lightweight racing, or usually is with lightweight racing anyway, because there's such fine margins between the 2 crews. But I wouldn't discount Lucy yet. She's a pretty tough gal. Actually came to rowing after boxing, which was her first sport that she took up. So, yeah, definitely I wouldn't discount her yet. And as you can see, there's still a lot of overlap between the 2 crews.
So the 2 crews making their way down the course in a pretty tight contest, it has to be said, between Alice Bloomer and Lucy Harris on the Berkshire and Buckinghamshire stations respectively, just coming past our commentary point. And you were right, Joe, it looks like Lucy very much still in touch in this one. Both scullers demonstrating pretty handy styles of sculling. Of course, lightweights are renowned for their technical proficiency over perhaps the horsepower they lack on the heavyweights. I understand Imogen Grant, who is of course a lightweight and raced at the most recent World Cup, has actually stepped up to heavyweight racing today. So it'll be interesting to see how she gets on. Yeah, absolutely.
Didn't know that. What category is she in?
She's in championship heavyweight singles.
Oh.
So mixing it with the big girls.
Yeah, but that girl definitely isn't short of horsepower.
No, not at all. Just see that little push has come on from Alice Bloomer on what is now the bottom right-hand side of your shot. She's just taken a few metres out of Lucy. Perhaps a decisive move there in the single, because of course you can change speed pretty quickly in a single scull, certainly faster than you can in a bigger boat like an 8 or a 4.
I think that's why the single's a good and a bad boat as well, is that the change of speed can be soul destroying if it's the wrong direction, but also give you a huge reward if it's in the right direction. Don't think they've lost contact though. I think there's still contact between the 2 crews.
So Alice actually performing exceptionally well. She only actually learnt to row, or learnt to scull this year. Bit bit of convergence from the two crews. She only actually learnt to scull this year and is racing at Henley Women's Regatta following a silver at Bucks. So to be beating an established athlete such as Lucy Harris, it's a pretty impressive achievement so far.
I think also it's important. Lucy's been sweeping most of the year. I know we were discussing yesterday about the change between sculling and sweeping, and it looks like Lucy's put on a big push there.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if she can keep in contact. We will keep one eye on the race that's going on, but the next race has started. This is race 107, another contest of the aspirational lightweight singles between Anna Robertson on the Berkshire station and Caitlin Armstrong on the Buckinghamshire station. You can just see the distinctive yellow shell of an M packer rowed by the Imperial College Sculler, just making its way down past Temple Island. They'll be coming into our shop pretty soon. But do keep your eye on the top right-hand side of your picture, the contest between Alice Bloomer and Lucy Harris of Leicester and Cambridge, respectively, because that is by no means over.
No, definitely not. I think Lucy might actually just have the edge there ever so slightly. Very difficult to tell from that camera angle.
Oh, I think Alice has still got the advantage, but not by very much at all. Just watching the two crews, I think Alice has got about a length, maybe 3/4 of a length on her opponent. And you can see City of Oxford and Imperial making their way down, and Caitlin Armstrong putting in a really good first 200 metres here. She's out to a length already. Really putting on the squeeze, trying to end the race before it's even really begun. And in a single, that can be devastating.
Again, as we mentioned yesterday, I think the single is just as much a mental battle as it is a physical battle. And particularly when you've lost sight of the crew by the side of you, it really turns on the mental aspect of the racing as well.
So Caitlin Armstrong and Anna Robertson just making their way down past us at the moment. And it looks like Caitlin from the City of Oxford has the advantage. But Anna hasn't let her get away, and there's still contact between the two crews, which suggests that we could be in for a pretty interesting race. I understand the third heat of the aspirational lightweight singles is also underway, but for now we'll focus on the contest between Imperial and City of Oxford. That caption at the bottom of your screen is wrong. This is race 107, contested between City of Oxford on the left-hand side of your screen and Imperial on the right-hand side of your screen. At the moment, Joe, this is another excellent race.
Yeah, lightweight racing once again proving to be one of the closest forms of racing, and shown by these two heats. Anna obviously also rode at Oxford previously, rode in the lightweight blue boat in 2016 for Oxford University, so
well, with that sort of experience, you wouldn't be at all surprised.
If she actually knows, I think she's got so much experience, she'll be keeping to her race plan and moving when she knows she needs to. She's put herself in the position that she can do what she wants at the end of the race by keeping contact, which is all you want to be able to do at that stage of at the end of they're only halfway up.
Absolutely, stay in touch, anything can happen, and you can see bottom left-hand side of your picture, ladies and gentlemen, race 108 has now started. St Neots Rowing Club, Anna Shreves on the Berkshire station in Greenbank, Falmouth, Sarah Lewis on the Buckinghamshire station. So we're expecting another close contest, and indeed that shot there as the crews come down towards what is just between the quarter mile and barrier mark is a close contest unfolding here.
Just as we saw them come out of the blocks, Shreves actually looked as if she was incredibly aggressive out of the start gates, and it will be interesting to see whether that has taken anything out of her for the latter stages of the race. It's looking like Lewis has the edge at the moment.
But with side-by-side racing, you can end a race before it's even begun. You know, in a 6-lane, it comes down to one crew might take the lead, but you're still in the pack. Whereas if you take the lead here by a couple of lengths, that can often be race over.
Did you prefer 6-lane racing when you were racing, Tom, or was it match racing?
Match racing. Could psych out my opponent, have a look across, show them the guns. They're going to have no chance against me. It didn't often work.
Did you use chat on the start line? Was that
no
chat on the start line?
Not a gamesman. But you can see the crew's making their way down at the moment. It is Sarah Lewis of Greenbank Falmouth who has the advantage by about a length and a half over Anna Shreves. Just keeping our eyes on the top right-hand side of your shots, the closing stages of the contest between Imperial College and the City of Oxford. Watching those crews come into shot here. This one looks like it's a more cut and dry affair, I think. Greenbank Falmouth, Sarah Lewis has established a margin of control over this race. She's got clear water on her opposition, and that can be quite damaging for the girl, Anna Shreves from St. Neots, because she can no longer see or hear her opposition, which makes mounting a response rather hard. And my understanding is actually, I'm just looking out at the race before this, race 107. I think it's been red flagged, the contest between Imperial and City of Oxford. From that shot, it looks like Imperial have crossed the line first, but the race has been red flagged.
I didn't quite see what happened.
Yeah, I saw the umpire raise his red flag. We're not sure what's happened
why. There. Directly, we do know, I'm sure we'll...
But we will keep you updated as and when we find out any information.
But as you said, it did look like Imperial crossed the line first, but as to why the red flag went up,
well, the crews were converging in the middle of the course, so I'm wondering as to perhaps maybe the umpire thinks there's been a steering misjudgment. But in any case, we will keep you updated as and when we find out more information. But for now, you can see on the left-hand side of your picture, race 108 unfolding between Anna Shreves of St. Neots and Sarah Lewis of Greenbank Falmouth. And I don't think much has changed here.
No, I think, if anything, the margin is increasing, but she seems to just be working in such a good rhythm from Lewis. Just working into it and just easing out further and further.
So you can just see Sarah Lewis of Greenbank Falmouth. Not a club I'm overly familiar with, but I understand it's located in the far west part of the country. Down in Cornwall. She's putting on a very good show here. I watched her yesterday, actually. A very efficient sculler. There's nothing wasted at either end of the stroke. I don't think she's quite got her foot on the gas there. I think she's enjoying the scull down the course and perhaps reserving her energy for later contests.
And that's the advantage you get with directly. You've got clear water over your opponent. You can essentially control as and when, see what's happening and respond to it as you need to. So, yeah.
They'll just be.
I'll just myself, yeah.
So Sarah Lewis crossing the line, clear of her opponent from St. Neots Rowing Club, so she will be progressing through, barring any intervention from the umpire. We're still awaiting confirmation of the result of race 107, the contest between Imperial College and the City of Oxford. The umpire did red flag that, and at the moment the result is not rode out, so we will wait to see what the conclusion of that one was. But we can probably return to the start and have a look at the next race on the course, which is race 109. And we have our first competitor from abroad today on the Saturday of the Henley Women's Regatta, Club España from Mexico. Arrilaga Garay on the Berkshire Station and Laura MacDonald of Edinburgh University Boat Club on the Buckinghamshire Station.
Fantastic to see some international competitors making their way over the Atlantic as well.
Absolutely, and if Scotland had won that independence referendum, or the people who wanted
they would
it,
also be...
We'd have a dual international representation here. But they didn't. They're still part of the UK as it stands. So Laura...
So we don't.
Laura domestic. And Edinburgh University, their rise from sort of battling in the middle grounds of university rowing to really reaching the summit has been quite remarkable over the last few years. They've churned out a number of exceptionally talented athletes, feeding them into the GB system. And I believe they won the Prince Albert a couple of years ago at Henley Royal Regatta, which I think crowned off their achievements quite nicely.
Yeah.
So let's see if Laura can continue in that vein and see if I expect the stern attentions of Club España of Mexico. Sculler number 157. So we have a couple of results for you, as I say, still awaiting the results of race 107. But the result of race 106 was a win for Leicester University Boat Club by a length and a half over Cambridge. And the result of race 108 was a win for Greenbank Falmouth by 2.5 lengths over St Neots Rowing Club. The next race on the course will be race 109. The crews are forward and ready. So we're just about ready to get underway in the fourth heat of the aspirational lightweight singles. Just while we wait, Joe, is there any racing you're particularly looking forward to today? Any old crewmates that you're expecting to tear it up?
I was quite excited to see Lucy Harris race this morning, but I think Tideway Scullers just came past looking incredibly polished. And I know that the Cox of the Tideway Scullers 8, we actually went to the same college together and started coxing together. So, yeah, no, very much looking forward to seeing them perform. They've had a fantastic season so far. Tideway Sculler women really have just come on leaps and bounds under Kieran over the last few years. So it'll be exciting to see what they can show at the kind of the highlight of their season.
Absolutely. And talking about highlights of the season, we can just watch race 109 get underway here. Club España Mexico on the Berkshire Station, Arrilaga Garay and Laura MacDonald of Edinburgh University Boat Club on the Buckinghamshire Station. It looks like the sculler from Mexico perhaps had the better of the two starts. I watched this girl scull yesterday, and there's a lot of emphasis on the back end of the stroke. She really leans back and compresses that power. Whereas it's a more of an efficient, I think, type of style, less energy wasted around the back end for Edinburgh. But rowing isn't dressage. No,
I think it's also, I always find it so interesting with rowing because you have so many different styles, yet they're all doing essentially the same thing.
Well, quite often speed is not something that you can really predict. Each coach will imprint his own way of rowing on each sculler. At the moment, you can see the two disparate styles, reasonably disparate styles for two lightweights.
Yeah.
And at the moment, it looks like the sculler from Mexico, Arrilaga Garay, has the advantage, although that camera angle is deceptive, and I have been caught out by it before. But
another well-matched race by the looks of it.
Absolutely. As you say, we come to expect this with lightweight racing because they tend to weigh the same. You would expect by that notion that they have the same horsepower, and thus technique is the only thing that can differentiate them.
And it's kind of the beast of the event as well, because it is a mental thing, because you know that it does come down to your technique and
mental fortitude.
And the mental fortitude. And as we've said before, singles is just as much a mental battle as it is a physical battle.
Well, I can imagine, or only imagine, what's going through these girls' heads now. But
particularly when you can see your competitor in the corner of your eye.
Well, that's the thing. I can bet this is not the scenario that either of them would realistically have wanted, because no one likes to be actually still side by side with their competitor 300 metres into the race. Who's going to make the first move? This race is finally poised. I think the sculler from Mexico has about a quarter or a third of a length, but no more than that.
But it does look like she's putting in a big push right now. So
well, the way she rows, she looks like she's constantly putting in a big push.
That's very true. Like you said, it's just a huge emphasis on the back end.
Oh, look at that. Crew's passing our commentary tower here, and the bow ball's pretty much in sync. I think the Mexican sculler has a canvas no more than that at this stage, so beautifully poised. I expect the support for the Edinburgh sculler to be pretty raucous as they come down the course. Just see the sculler from Mexico moving across a little bit.
McDonald looking ever so composed. Clearly, this is very much within her race plan.
Well,
and I think they're almost level now.
That's sort of what I'm thinking. I'm actually, if I was a betting man right now, I'd be putting my money on Edinburgh. She looks a lot more relaxed, a lot more composed.
It looks as if she's really not phased by this, and it'll be interesting to see when she does put a move on, just how much distance she can take out of the Mexican.
Fascinating war of attrition, this. Yeah, sculler from Mexico making full and frank use of her station, I have to say. Currently rowing in the middle of the river. I expect the umpire to probably get involved at some point.
But again, the Edinburgh crew not looking at all phased by it, just keeping within her system, which looks very, very honed and practiced.
Yeah, Laura demonstrating a really relaxed, confident style of sculling. But at the moment, Arrillaga Garay of Club Hispania Mexico has the advantage and has control of this race.
But that is still a lot of overlap between them.
Well, the margin has barely changed from 100 metres in to 1,000 metres in. Which sets us up nicely for the final 500 metres, I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be quite a finish. I think potentially it's going to come down to who's got a better sprint in them, which, as you said, given how relaxed the Edinburgh girl's looking, I wouldn't put my money against her at the moment.
Well, the question is, do you go now?
Well, see, I think it's always hard with match racing because although you have a race plan, you've got to respond to the person next to you. And it's, am I leaving it too late? My inclination has always gone to go slightly before you think you need to. And it looks like the Edinburgh girl has actually rode through the Mexican now.
Well, the drone shot giving us a lovely view of the Oxfordshire countryside, but maybe making it a little bit difficult to illuminate exactly who's doing what on the river. But I'm sure when we reach the static cameras a little further down the course, we'll have a better idea. But from that shot, it does look to me like Edinburgh have made a move. Laura McDonald
absolutely.
Putting her foot on the gas and deciding enough's enough. I've rode at half a length down the whole way down this course. This is where I make my move, and I think
it's a very decisive move. It looks at, and you could just see the Mexican looking over her shoulder there going, where's she gone?
Well, she's controlled this race the whole way through, the girl from Club Hispania. Has she now got the ability to turn it on? Because actually she's down a length.
Yeah. And as you said before, singles can change in speed so quickly, and we've just seen that from the Edinburgh crew. But equally, the Mexican could have a huge sprint in her, so it really is still all to play for, I think.
Well, Joe, that was an eerily accurate prediction from you. You said that you thought Laura McDonald had another gear. You said she thought she looked relaxed and composed.
And it looks like she did. She has. Also, I think that shot is very interesting because it's reminiscent for me of when you sit on the start line looking back going, well, that's a long way. So, and of course, Laura looking incredibly relaxed now.
Well, I think
she has done all the way down, actually, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's got control of this race now.
I would say that's an incredibly mature and competent and confident, rather, performance from Laura there. Really has just taken it completely in her stride, wasn't phased, and I would say she has probably had a textbook race there.
I think we expect nothing less from a sculler from Edinburgh. Just having a little look across, she has seen off the stern attentions of Club Hispania, and I imagine we'll be progressing through to the next round of the aspirational lightweight singles. So race
113, then you got champagne.
Race 113 now on the stake boats. The contest of the championship lightweight pairs, and I'm delighted to introduce Greg Davies, headmaster at Shiplake College.